My name is Ann Pearl, and I'm your worship associate today. First, I would like to extend a special welcome to our friends from the First Unitarian Society of Westchester who are watching us online today. I would also like to welcome our guest pianist today, Dan Cater. Please rise now in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 121, We'll Build a Land.
My name is Monica, and I'm the treasurer of this congregation. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley. Whether you've been with this congregation a decade or more, or this is your first time visiting, we welcome you. Whatever the faith and traditions of your past, we welcome you. Whatever your theological stance, we welcome you. Whoever you are and whomever you love, we welcome you. Whatever your heritage, we welcome you. We respectfully acknowledge the territory on which our church building sits as the ancestral homelands of the Munsee, Lenape, and Wappinger people. And I thought, why do I need my phone when I was grabbing it to bring it up? But I do. I'm just being a millennial carrying my phone around. No. Save the date for our Midsummer Potluck Picnic. It's on Saturday, July 29th, 4 p.m. until dusk. It will be at Croton Landing Park for a potluck dinner at tables on the lawn overlooking the Hudson River. Bring food and drink to share, drums or buckets for a drumming circle, lawn games, a sun hat, watch the spectacular sunset, and enjoy fun and fellowship at the peak of summer with your UU friends. To get there, go to Senasqua Park and keep driving until you get to the very end. You'll see a flagpole and a parking lot. The GPS address is 1 Senasqua Road, Croton-on-Hudson. We'll be set up at the end of the field near the parking lot, accessible via an asphalt path. See you there. For FUSW, if you are interested in a rewarding volunteer opportunity, consider joining the worship committee. We need 2 or more people to help identify, recruit, and arrange speakers for several Sunday services in the coming year. You'll meet fascinating people and make a real difference. Contact Lenore Loopy at LENOREL@ARIS-COMM if you're interested. FUSW members are invited to get together in person at 2 free upcoming events. The first is a dramatic reading of the Declaration of Independence on the steps of the White Plains City Hall. That's on Tuesday, July 11th at 12:30. The second is the Broadway on the Sound concert in Harbor Island Park in Mamaroneck. That one's on July 19th at 7 p.m. And of course, our UUCHV friends, you're welcome to join as well. See the scoop for details or contact Denise Wooden at deniseuu23@gmail.com. For the most up-to-date information on these topics and others, please refer to our weekly e-newsletter and check our website frequently. And please join us for conversation after the service. If you're present in the sanctuary, you can come to Fellowship Hall, and if you're watching the live stream, the link for Zoom Coffee Hour can be found in the Saturday reminder in your email. If you're just recently joining us and would like to receive our weekly e-news, please email uucroton@gmail.com with your name, and we'll make sure you're added to our e-news list. Please remember to silence your cell phones at this time, and once again, we welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley.
Thank you. Our guest speaker today is Betsy Tomic. Betsy has been a member at UUCHV for 11 years. She's been a leader in our community, serving on the board for 6 years, as well as membership committee, arts committee, leading youth groups, and as of July 1st, is the B&G chair. She does hardly anything here, huh? Please welcome Betsy Tomic.
Good morning. Hold fast to summer. Enjoy with heightened appreciation these warm July days. Create more memories. Take more pictures. Pretend you're a child. Smile at someone. Squeeze a hand. Grill some vegetables and pick some berries. Notice your summer companions and imagine how they will be your winter support and sustenance. In celebration of July, we gather together in community. And now I'd like to start us off by inviting Jane, Podell, and the youth to ring our 8 bells for our 8 principles. Emily, you want to help?
For our chalice lighting today, I'm going to read our UUA covenant. We, the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association, covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, acceptance of one another, and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, and respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Now please join me in reading the affirmation. The words are in your order of service. Inspired by love, our mission is to seek our true nature, connect deeply and openly, and act for justice. And now our youth will join Jane Podell in their religious exploration class. Let us now bear witness to the joys and sorrows experienced in our community. If you have a brief yet personally significant joy or sorrow that you are willing to share, please come up to the microphone to my left and speak loudly so that everyone, including the people watching at home, can hear you. If you would prefer to only have a candle lit without speaking, please just stand or raise your hand and I will light a candle for you. I'm going to start with a sorrow that I received from Jane Podell regarding our beloved Reverend Daniel and his wife Yumi. Unfortunately, they are currently recuperating from COVID, so please keep them in your thoughts.
I'm Nora. I have a joy. My daughter, my daughter-in-law, and my granddaughter are coming to visit starting this Thursday and leaving on the 24th. We're so happy.
Hi, I'm Joanne, and I have a joy. I was lucky enough to have my family, my nephew, his wife, and my grandniece visiting last week, and we had a wonderful 4th of July time.
Hi, I'm Christine, and I wanted to share, because I think it's a milestone, Matt and I had our 25th wedding anniversary on July 5th, and we celebrated by going to Canada and looking at the falls, which I've never seen, so it was fun. Thanks.
I'm Al. I look forward, not with particularly joy, to tomorrow is my long-awaited skin cancer surgery in Mount Kisco. It'll be a Mohs procedure, could last God knows how long, 7, 8, 10 hours. It's very long, drawn out. And I just want to thank Tina Mayer, Joanne, and other kind people who are willing to drive me there. My choice is narrowed down to two candidates. I'll speak to them today. People who are willing to drive me both ways.
Morning, I'm Scott, and I just want to wish Annabelle, who's in the other room with Jane, a happy 14th birthday tomorrow. It's going too fast.
We also acknowledge all the unspoken joys and sorrows held within the sanctuary of our hearts, and all those people who have yet to find a spiritual home where they too can share their joys and sorrows.
Hello. So the theme today is about Unitarian Universalist General Assembly, and in my homily I'll talk about it. But for centering words, I've chosen an idea that I thought was so interesting when I heard it at a GA workshop. The idea is that hope is a discipline. So I'm going to quote an activist named Mariam Kaba. Hope doesn't preclude feeling sadness or frustration or anger or any other emotion that makes total sense. Hope isn't an emotion. Hope is not optimism. The idea of hope being a discipline is something I heard from a nun many years ago who was talking about it in conjunction with making sure we were of this world and in this world. The hope that she was talking about was this grounded hope that was practiced every day, that people actually practiced all the time. And so I bowed down to that. I heard that many years ago, and then I felt a sense of, oh my God, that speaks to me as a philosophy of living, that hope is a discipline and we have to practice it every single day. Because in the world in which we live, it's easy to feel a sense of hopelessness, that everything is bad all the time, that there is nothing going to change ever. So I chose this daily practice of hope. Now we'll have a moment of silence, followed by music for meditation.
Our reading today is by Frances Watkins Harper. During the Ware Lecture at GA, author Imani Perry spoke about the Unitarian Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. In the 1860s and beyond, Frances Harper delivered various speeches pertaining to women's issues, and more specifically, Black women's issues. One of her speeches, "We Are All Bound Up Together," delivered in 1866 at the National Women's Rights Convention in New York City, demanded equal rights for all, emphasizing the need to raise awareness for African American suffrage while also advocating for women's suffrage. In her speech, she stated, "We are all bound up together in one great bundle of humanity, and society cannot trample on the weakest and feeblest of its members without receiving the curse in its own soul. You tried that in the case of the Negro. You white women speak here of rights. I speak of wrongs. I, as a colored woman, have had in this country an education which has made me feel as if I were in the situation of Ishmael, my hand against every man and every man's hand against me. While there exists this brutal element in society which tramples upon the feeble and treads down the weak, I tell you that if there is any class of people who need to be lifted out of their airy nothings and selfishness, it is the white women of America." Now please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn number 170, "We Are a Gentle, Angry People."
Hello, my friends. So I went to GA. I was your delegate, the UUCHV Hudson Valley delegate, which means I could vote on any decisioning items. I also had a second identity, which is I'm a board member for the UU Ministry for Earth, and I helped advocate there for Earth-centered values at our booth in the exhibit hall. GA is the acronym for General Assembly. GA is the annual meeting of Unitarian Universalists. Since we are a democratic organization, it must occur so that democracy can take place. There are formal, very formal business meetings each day from 2 to 5 in which this democratic process takes place. Everyone on the stage at GA had to introduce themselves as if there were blind people in the audience. So this is part under the umbrella of accessibility and being more inclusive. So Sophia Betancourt, our new president, said, "I am a fat, black, cisgendered woman from Silver Spring, Maryland, residing on the unceded land of the Anishinaabe people." And everyone had to do that kind of thing. It was really kind of, I don't know, it was nice. So I'll do the same thing to you. My name is Betsy Tomic. I'm a white, slightly chubby woman with gray hair that falls to my shoulders. I'm wearing reading glasses and a black colored shirt. So GA is all about community, and that's why I like going. And a lot of people say, oh, I would hate it, you know. But, so I don't want to strong-arm you to ever go, but I want to share with you why I really enjoy going to this annual meeting. I actually came up with 5 reasons. So number 1, I feel like when I'm there, I'm in a mini utopia for a few days. I'm with a group of people who all have positive intent in relationships, who all want a better world, who are all somewhat committed to at least thinking about it, who are passionate about values of social justice, and who are there to listen. And almost from a personal standpoint, I feel like, oh, they're not going to judge me first, you know, make first judgments. So maybe that's part of it too, from my utopia. And it's in this huge convention center, and there's food, and there's bathrooms, and air conditioning. I mean, you could be there all day in this bubble, and you go for 3 or 4 days straight. My second reason is that there's a huge variety of people. There's your traditional elderly white New England man wearing khakis and a button-down shirt. There's tons of women who don't dye their hair like me, so I feel like, hey, these are my people. There's an unusual number of young people. So whereas in our congregation, how many people do we have between the ages of 18 and 25? I think it's 0. But there's tons of them there. So there's something about GA that draws young people from wherever those congregations are that have them. And that's really great. I mean, I guess it's just great to see, right? A lot of the young people have hair dyed multicolors, or their head is half shaved. Many wear rainbow colors. So it's kind of wild, that aspect, to see. There's also more black and brown UUs there than we see here in Westchester. So that's also nice to see. It's just inspirational to that all these young people come and care enough to attend the GA. The third reason I like to go to GA is to spend 3 days thinking about issues beyond me, beyond my boring, everyday, stress-filled, you know, high anxiety life. And so it's just kind of great. More is better for me when it comes to UU thoughts and principles. The fourth reason is I actually know a few people. So I spent a lot of time with Reverend Daniel there. I spoke with Jane Thixton, our former minister. One of my really close friends from childhood is a UU, Robin Pugh. So she was there with her cousin, and we ran into each other, and it was just fun. And you know, the more you get out there in the UU world, you meet people, and then you see them again. So it's, you know, someday it could be like a reunion for me, you know, with seeing lots of people I know. And then the fifth reason is that it's so easy to meet people and talk, to meet new people. Everyone kind of wants to talk and share ideas and share their identity. Where are you from? How big is your congregation? What committees are you on? What issues do you guys have? What social justice activities? What do you think of our new president? And on the cover of the order of service, you see the typical name tag. It's too, I don't, do anyone have a color version? Is it color? Yeah, okay. Oh, it's fine. But you know, everyone wears these huge name tags. And see those the green and black ribbon underneath? You can pick up ribbons from all the different exhibit booths. And a lot of the kids have a contest on how long their ribbon is, right? So I kept mine to 2. The first one was, we practice earth care, which is my group, and I support divestment. So it's fun. Okay, so those are my 5 reasons. Just looking at this here. So in the morning in GA, there's like a service. Everything's optional. So there's a service in the morning you can go to, worship service. Then you go out to the common areas, you have some coffee, talk to people, look at your phone. Then at 11 and 12:30, there are workshops, and there's a couple to choose from. So if you're interested in any of the topics of the workshops, you'd go to one at 11, you'd get out at 12:15, then you'd go to the one at 12:45. Then at 2 o'clock, I already told you, is the business meeting. And then at night, one evening there was a rooftop party, one evening was the Ware lecture with Imani Perry. And also throughout the day, there's this other huge room, which is just like a convention where there's booths. You know, and in a convention, you know, if it was a, I don't know, knife convention, everyone would be selling their wares and accessories for knives, but this is GA. So all these groups have booths, and I'd like to ask you to look at the back of your order of service. This is most of the booths. So it's a huge number. And there's the animal ministry, the entrepreneurial ministry. You know, I'm not going to go through them all, but there's a lot of things, and guess what? Anyone who mans a booth is pretty friendly and wants to talk. And I man the booth. I man the UU Ministry for Earth booth, often with Reverend Daniel, who's part of that group. Yeah, I love, like, in the middle of the second column, Covenant of the UU Pagans. Their acronym is CUPS. And I want to look into them, but I haven't yet. You know, just curiosity. And what else? Oh, near the end, Final Exit Network. So Final Exit is about means to end your life. So they were next to us. So that was, so I got to see their literature and stuff. But it's really fun. And if you like meeting people, and it's a great time, okay? Now, there were 3 important discussions and votes at the business meeting that I'm briefly going to share with you, only because they're interesting. They're not boring. One is the vote for the next UU president. We had Susan Frederick Gray the past 6 years. Sophia Betancourt is the only woman who ran. The statement is that she's so amazing, anyone else who was interested just dropped out. So that's, you know, I hope that's true. Try to watch a video of her. She expresses this amazing compassion. Not that I don't think the previous president had it, but just Sophia is so good at expressing it. Like, I felt like, she calls people, us beloveds in the auditorium. So I feel like, I'm beloved by Sophia Betancourt. Yeah, I know. So let me give you 2 quotes. She said, "I promise to love you for 6 years." Now there's a great minister, right? You know, I promise to love you for 6 years. We all need that. And then when she was talking more about her goals for the UU in the next 6 years, she said, "I hope you can stay in the messiness of the hard work." So she's saying what we do, which is mostly relationships, is hard work, which you forget. You always think it's supposed to be easy, and then you insult 3 people and realize you did it all wrong, right? And it's messy, and everyone makes mistakes, and don't point fingers, keep working. So anyway, it seems like I like her. Okay, that was the first thing, and I voted for her as your representative. The second the second order of business had to do with our 7 principles. So our bylaws are committed to reviewing our values periodically. So it's a periodic promise to ourselves to do that, to make sure we are living to our highest ideals. And so basically, people think the 7 principles, while great, aren't current enough. And so there is an effort to, they assigned a group a few years ago, they assigned some people 1 year ago to gather feedback and say what would represent our faith, our aspirations of our faith more. And they came up with something that's different, a little different than the 7 principles. In the end, it's all wordsmithing, right? But it is a little different. And in our bylaws, it's within something called Article 2. So if you hear Article 2 changes, it's really taking away the 7 principles and putting something new in, all right? And I'm not going to go over that now, but someone once pointed out that the 7 principles don't have the word love. And this new suggestion does. So Daniel will be like telling us about it over the next year. We can think about it, and then whoever your delegate is next year, next year we vote on it, finally. This year we voted on, should we keep moving forward with this new thing? And next year we'll vote on the thing. Okay. You know, one guy actually stood up and said, "You're rushing us." I was like, this is a 2-year process. So, I know. Religion, right? Organized religion. Oh, and so in each of these issues, the president, the 7 principles, there's a pro and con time. And anyone can go and get in line for the pro booth or the con booth, and you get 90 seconds. And your face, it's in a booth, there must be a video camera, because your face is displayed on 3 huge screens. So Reverend Daniel actually went to a booth and said something, so I was really proud of him. What? Pro or con? Oh, pro. And he actually in the middle of, and like everyone has to say, "My name is Betsy Tomic, I have shoulder-length hair, I'm wearing a black shirt." So Daniel's like, "I'm Daniel, I have this, I have that, and today is my birthday." So the whole place was like, "Yeah, happy birthday." And then 2 other people also said it was their birthday. So he started a trend. Okay, so that's kind of fun. And for me, that really adds an element of suspense, like, it's the con booth. What kind of crank is going to say something like, "This process is going too fast," or whatever? So there is, it's people are really fascinated. And let's see. Okay, the third big issue that we voted on had to do with divesting our UUA funds from fossil fuel companies. This proposal is not something the UUA wanted, so it was very controversial. A bunch of young people wrote it. They actually had an insider. They had an insider in the investment office, a young guy, who printed out like all the details of our holdings that while publicly available, it's so hard to find them and understand them that the young adults would have never been able to do it. So there was this element of trickery. So anyway, so the youngsters wrote this proposal itemizing every stock they want the UUA to sell. And I think it's also banks that lend to fossil fuel companies. And they wanted some of the money that was, or all the money that was freed up, to be given in reparations to oppressed peoples, all right? So a big ask, right? Fossil fuel companies, banks, reparations within a year. So the UUA muckety-mucks actually recommended against it. The new president, when she had her little Q&A on the stage, she recommended against it. I mean, she said, look, we need these young people in our faith, we need them to push us, but this proposal is not feasible. Now, the problem is none of us are investment people, I think, like, I don't know who's right. I don't know if they're right or they're snowballing us or what. But anyway, it was voted down, not surprisingly. The vote was 70-30. But again, you're voting on this one antagonistically written proposal that asks for a lot. So the UUA has stated they're going to continue looking what they can do with divestment. So we'll find out. Something will happen. Okay. Before I end, can I give you one fun anecdote? Across the room, I saw Michael Tino, who used to be the minister, right, at Mount Kisco. And his lips were blue. So I thought, my mind immediately thought those blue ice pops that we used to have as children. I didn't, but other kids did. Did he suck on one of the ice pops? But no, what I found out was Saturday at GA was Queer Blue Lipstick Saturday. Queer Blue Lipstick Saturday. I know, I am so proud to be part of a community that can schedule a Queer Blue Lipstick Saturday, right? How satisfying that can happen, and it's okay. No one's upset, whatever. So, in closing, I need to feel in community in my life. We here at community, because we have similar values, and at this point, we all really know each other. It's great. It's the beauty of our small congregation. At GA, I found another community, obviously based on similar values, and an intention to love each other, even though we don't know each other. And so that feeling was great for me. 3 things I heard at a workshop was, we grow into our faith by being in relationship with kids, with parents, with volunteers, with everyone. And it's the work of a lifetime to engage in relationships. And then our faith is not an individual journey. Our faith is a communal journey. And that's it. So, Al, hold on. Al, because it's summer, I'll take a question.
Yeah.
Betsy, maybe I missed something, but a few minutes ago you mentioned 7 principles. I thought we had 8.
Well, you know what it is?
His question is-
Oh yeah, so Al said, wait, 7 principles? I thought we had 8. Well, 8 is what we voted on. The big headquarters has never voted on the 8th. And they're not going to vote on the 8th. They're just throwing the whole thing out, so to speak. They gave it to this group to say, can you do something, what would you do? If you start from scratch, you look at our social issues today, you look at what's needed for the future. The 8th principle is very confusing. We voted for it, but the whole UUA didn't. Okay? All right, so let's rise and sing from the, yeah, sure.
Right from the beginning of your talk, you talked about hope
Hope, yeah,
as being a discipline.
yeah.
You can still have all your other emotions at the same time. You can still apply the discipline. But isn't the feeling of hopelessness an emotion?
So to repeat what Peter said, you said that that Betsy talked about a feeling of hope, and say again
That it's not, that this activist said it's not a feeling, it's a discipline. And so Peter said, yes, but then how can hopelessness be an emotion? Anyone care to comment?
If you care to comment, we're going to need you to come up to the microphone, though, because
Oh, yeah.
we have a lot of people watching at home.
Okay. Nora, right? Yeah.
I'm going to take a shot at it. Hope as a discipline is...
Get closer.
Hope as a discipline is deciding every day that it is possible to make things better and that you will do something to make things better. Hopelessness as an emotion is, oh God, why do I even bother? We all feel that, the oh God, why do I even bother? The discipline is saying, because it's important and because I can. That would be my answer.
Tara, is that it?
I understand that, thank you. I would also say
Get
something.
closer to the mic.
Or lift it up.
I would also say something that I say to myself a lot to get through every day. Two things can be true at the same time. So we can have hope and hopelessness at the same time. And what I think is important is to accept both. To not say, no, I'm not hopeless, I'm not hopeless, because the more you deny how you feel, the stronger your feeling will come up, because it's there. And yet, when we say, I'm having this emotion, I just am, and especially when we share that with someone else, soon enough, the emotion flows out of us. And it'll probably come back. But the same with hope. And I'm not disagreeing that hope is a discipline. But in my spiritual training, I believe that hope is a virtue. So it's like patience, like all the other virtues, it's something that we can actually ask the universe to infuse us with.
Thank you. Now let us go to the Teal hymn books. Number 1014, Standing on the Side of Love.
Please rise in body or spirit.
Thank you.
Each week we make an offering from the bounty that we are blessed to enjoy. We do this in a spirit of love and generosity, aware that we have benefited from those who have gone before, those who in their turn gave generously. Our offering goes to support the work of love and justice undertaken by this community. Today's offering will also be shared, that's the UUCHV offering, with the UUA Annual Program Fund to help meet our fair share contribution, very fitting, I believe, for today's service. For more information, please visit their website at uua.org. For the FUSW donation information, please go to your own website or your scoop. You can make your donation in several ways. If present in the sanctuary, you may give cash or a check in the offering plate as it comes by. From your homes, you can make your donation via credit card or PayPal using the links provided in the e-newsletter. Or if you prefer, you can always mail us a check. The offering will now be given and gratefully received. Now in the dedication of the offering, the words are in your order of service. May these gifts and the work of our hands and hearts give power to all we stand for as a community of faith. Please join me now in extinguishing the chalice. The words are also found in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We are all longing to go home to some place we have never been. A place half remembered and half envisioned we can only catch glimpses of from time to time. Community. Somewhere there are people to whom we can speak with passion without having the words catch. A circle of hands will open to receive us. Eyes will light up as we enter. Arms to hold us when we falter. Some place where we can be free. Community.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.